What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Web Warriors series. My name is Cameron and today we're going to be reviewing issue 5 of this awesome series. So in the previous issue we saw the Spider-Man land in the dimension of the Lady Spider. Now obviously if you've seen the Spider-Verse event which I've reviewed, then you'll know exactly who Lady Spider is. And towards the end of the issue, we figured out that they could trap all of the Electros in this universe. And that is exactly what was happening towards the end of the issue with Billy Braddock, aka Spider-Man UK, luring all of the Electros to this universe. And this issue is pretty much going to be picking up directly from where that issue left off. And we'll just have to see how it goes. Now, it's been a little while since we've reviewed this series, but now it's time to finally catch up. So without any further ado, guys, let's get into this review and let's catch up. Alright, so heading back over to Earth 803 where the rest of the Spider team are, and the issue opens up with Billy Braddock pretty much revealing the news that he has lured all of the Electros to Lady Spider's universe, and of course she's not too happy about that, and it's mainly because Spider-Man UK thought of that idea spontaneously. Like, he didn't kind of ask anyone else, he kind of just thought, I've got an idea, and then he just kind of lured everyone here, and now that's the plan. Something that adds a little bit of dimension to the comic, and that pun is entirely intended, is the fact that the Master Weaver has to feed on Spider-Man to survive. He sucks their life energy. Now, the only reason for that, I'm not going to reveal it, because it gets revealed in the Spider-Verse, and that's like the whole point of the Spider-Verse. But either way, what I'm saying is, because that's happening, not only have they got to make sure that they all don't die from the Electros, but they've also got to make sure that the Master Weaver doesn't die as well, since he is the master of the web. I also don't know if you noticed that, but one of those Electros had an Electro T-Rex. That is pretty crazy, and it kind of makes me think, is there a Spider-Man T-Rex somewhere out there in the multiverse as well? Because that would be pretty awesome. Anyway, going into a little bit more detail of the comic, I find it really interesting how it keeps giving like slight little nods to what happened in the Spider-Verse. So for example, this helmet that Lady Dr. Octopus is holding, that's actually the helmet that allowed Dr. Octopus from the 616 universe to switch minds with Spider-Man and become the superior Spider-Man and cause the Spider-Verse in the first place. And as soon as I saw that helmet, I was like, Gwen, do not put that on. But luckily, Gwen already knows about this helmet, and she already knows that it does a bunch of mind-swapping things and everything like that. So I thought it was awesome how she acknowledged that in depth of it as well. That was just awesome to see. I'm also a huge fan of how the comic makes the reader feel like the stakes are high. Like, look at how fast Gwen takes out these two guys. Like, they literally look at them, see that they're coming, and then before they even know it, Spider-Gwen has just took them both out. And I think that's because there is no time to mess about in this situation. Like, as the reader, I feel like I am reading a fast-paced, the world is going to end type of storyline, even though it's the multiverse that's going to end instead of the world. So the stakes are kind of high. You can also see in the comic that the humour is still on point when one of the Electros actually blasts Dr. Octopus in the back, and in doing so melts his costume. And what you've got to remember is that he's in space, so he's technically just put a massive hole in his costume, sucking out all of the air, and now he's going to suffocate. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious because that is such an Electro thing to do, you know, because he's kind of a dumb character. Well, actually, he's not dumb, he's just technically not the smartest tool in the shed, if you get what I mean. Now, turning the page over, they realise that they can't actually defeat this massive electric monster themselves. So they teleport it to the trap where the rest of the Spider-Men are, and we get this awesome splash page of everyone fighting. I don't know whether, is a splash page the right term? Well, either way, it's just a page with everyone fighting, and it looks awesome. Art style is brilliant, the outlines on the characters look very, very comic booky, and that is exactly what I like about this series. I mean, look at some of the size of the characters' heads. They are massive. Anyway, going back to the comic on screen, as you could see there, Spider-Man UK gave up some of his spider life force and gave it to the Master Weaver in order to allow the Master Weaver to have enough strength to get out of there, and I think that's an extremely noble thing to do. And basically, what you've got to remember is that that's kind of what Spider-Man is about. You know, risking yourself to save others. And this is where, as the reader, you start to realise that this could be a turning point in the Web Warriors series, because now there is potentially Billy Braddock that is trapped here with all of these Electros, and then you've got Mayday Parker that goes back for him. So then you've got two potential Spider-Men that have the possibility of being trapped in here with all of these Electros. And the worst part is that all of the other Spider-Men are trying to keep this thing open and stop all of the Electros from escaping it whilst they wait for Mayday Parker and Spider-Man UK to get out of there. And you can really tell that the risk factor gets turned up to 100 towards the end of the issue, because you don't know whether these Spider-Man characters are going to survive, you don't know what's going to happen. And the comic actually takes a turning point when Anya, who is Spider-Man UK's ally, has to become the leader of the team and actually makes a decision to trap both of the Spider-Men in there. Now that is absolutely crazy, because in this issue, technically, 2 Spider-Men have just died, and one of them is Mayday Parker, who is a pretty major Spider-Man, or Spider-Woman should I say. Now luckily towards the end of the issue we get a slight hint that they maybe could have survived, because there is a hint of energy teleportation that came out of there just before they closed it or something like that, so there's a possibility that they could still be alive, and I'm looking forward to the future of this series. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's almost like, if you remember in the 90s Spider-Man TV series, Spider-Man actually lost Mary Jane because she fell through a wormhole that took her to an alternate dimension, and she was literally gone for like the rest of the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. And it was in the very final episode that Madam Web came up to Spider-Man and said, "We found the real Mary Jane, let's go get her," and then the series ended. So that's what it kind of feels like in this issue, like the Spider-Men have gone to an unknown alternate universe and they have no idea where they are, and it's their job to try and find them. And I don't think we're going to see that just yet, but it will be in the future, guys. It's going to be awesome. But until then, that is the end of the issue, guys. That is the end of this review. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to give this issue an 8 out of 10. The art style is very comic booky, which is what I love about this Web Warriors series. And as I've already said, the twist at the end was completely taken by surprise. I really didn't think that this was one of those issues or series where characters die or get lost or anything like that. And to think that we're only 5 issues in and 2 major characters have pretty much been taken off the books already, so clearly there are no limits to this series. Now, coming up to the end of the video, guys, follow me on Twitter and Facebook for all of the latest in comic book news and updates. A new Spider-Man game has been hinted to be announced at E3 2016, so you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook to stay up to date on those. And also, an Injustice 2 promo picture was just leaked on Twitter early today as well. So, again, you can stay up to date on all that news by following me on Twitter and Facebook. Guys, if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and I'll see you all next time.